Do you think schools today are preparing kids for this kind of future?
I think the school system is not prepared for what's coming to us. I think that Dubai is a positive exemption because we are trying to change things. KHADA is really working on trying to change the education system and be more, let's say, adaptable to what is coming to us as far as we can oversee it. So they are turning more and more and more towards too much skill focused. You know, the schools of today are similar with 100 years ago. We are pumping the brains of children full with information that is probably not needed. I have been educated. I studied my whole life, but a lot of things that I learned in the early days I never used. So why not helping me and helping your children to solve the problems of today? Because if you would focus on that, you need all kind of skills, from language to calculation to math to whatever, you know, to bring that together to solve a problem.
Right.
And children figure that out, where to get that information faster than we can.
Right.
Because they are so skilled in using information from the internet. And then if they bring that into the equation of solving a problem, they will figure out fast enough, hey, that information that we use is not right. So we have to redo it, you know, and that redo it, that questioning, that being critical about their own solution that they found. Hey, was our problem deep enough investigated? So let's do that again. For instance, in school we are telling the children, hey, we should build here a cafeteria.
Right.
Yeah, because there are people here and they are hungry and they want to drink, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Build that thing. So what do they have to do? So firstly, they have to investigate, is there a need? So, and if there is a need, what do we have to provide to fulfill that need?
Right.
So then they are going around and seeing, hey, where can we find that kind of stuff, you know, that fulfills the need? You know, what job has to be done? So thinking along these kind of lines. And then, where do we buy it? How are we going to sell it? Do we have to deal with the Food and Drug Administration?
Right.
Because it is food.
Yeah, the lobbies
food.
and
so what kind of legislations do we have to go through? So, and then, how does it look like? We have to design, we have to make a cool design, you know, with nice colors and whatever, you know. And also an area where people can communicate with each other, can talk to each other.
Yeah.
And maybe also a little bit of music. And what is really interesting is if we would also use some scent, you know, because smell does a lot of interesting things. So by doing that, you are combining already what I just talked about,
all the
20, 30 things, you know, in just one simple example. That is, for me, way more valuable than teaching all those separate things, and you don't see any connection. So the children don't need to be bored. And then in the end, you are developing the entrepreneurs of the future.
Yes. Yes.
And entrepreneurship is the key word for the future. So schools have to change.
If you had the chance to go to school, how would you redesign that timetable for those 5 days that the children are in school?
Sitting together with the children, and what do you want?
Really?
What do you want? So what I usually say is, as soon as possible, bring children into kind of new designs. So I worked for a little while in Russia, and an oligarch called me up and said, well, hey Paul, can you help me to build a new hospital? I said, yeah, why not? In Siberia, in 35 minus, you know, and so okay, I went there and started to do the work. And at a certain point, I said, well, we are going to include children in the design of this hospital. Okay. Because the users of that hospital are the children of today. And then let children come up with cool designs that they think is important. And they come up with colors, you know, they came up with forms, they came up with all kind of things that we were not thinking about. And part of those things could not be done because of regulations. Because certain forms cannot be cleaned enough, you know, so hygienic environment. So, but the fact that the children were working on that was not the only part of the equation. Right. What they did is talking about it at home.
Right.
And now you had a discussion in home with parents and children about a hospital of the future. And let them think together with you about how they see the world. Always through different eyes and open-minded, less biased. So everything is possible. By the way, part of the work that Tarek and I do in our EQ Exponential company is we are providing board as a service.
Okay.
So we are sitting next to a board and we are trying to take our telescope and look into the future and assess, not judging, but assess their strategy through the lens of a telescope.
Right.
So where will we be in 5, 10, 15 years from now, given the development of technology? And what we also did, we expanded that with our youth board. So now we have young people talking to a board,
No.
but they know that, they feel that, they live it.
Right.
So, and if they put that perspective in board meetings, things are changing dramatically.
Right.
And if you have a board that is open for it, but a lot of boards are completely biased in their own world, you know, and don't get out of the building. But guys, there are no answers in your building.
Right.
You have to get out to find answers. And those children are your answers, how they would like the future to evolve.